It is Monday, March the 30th. And that only means one thing. It is time to talk some sports. It's a beautiful day. It's a little windy. But guess what? It's time to talk sports. Kick back, relax, because the newest edition of Unbiased, it starts. And it starts right now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back into another edition of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live tonight from Hamilton, New Jersey. That is starting to warm up again. We're getting into the 80s this week, I heard.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, this is the show that brings you all the unbiased sports talk that you guys need around every major sport, basketball, football. Heck, we may throw some wrestling in from time to time. As always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, and, of course, the one and only Tyler Adams. No, I have not gotten rid of him yet. But anyway.
I'm here to stay.
Tyler, how are we tonight?
Oh, just enjoying a nice mild day today.
Always can't complain. I'm sure. How was the weekend?
Oh, can't complain. Some madness towards the end of March.
That could mean a lot of things. I mean, between basketball, look, it's a crazy time of year. March Madness tournaments entering the Final Four. Baseball's back, so I had a fun weekend. Flyers, the late season playoff push is a thing.
And the United States men's soccer team still can't beat some of the best teams in the world heading into the World Cup.
Of course. But we were optimistic about that.
We still are. They played a team that is very good in the standings of the world. So
how many players were we down this time?
Not many, actually. These games are playing here at World Cups in June, end of June, early July, something like that. A few months away. So these teams that they're putting out on the field are basically almost close to final rosters. And they lost to Belgium 5-2. The fact that they managed to score 2 goals, though, I will take that as a win.
All right, I guess so. So you're a little optimistic, at least.
Because if you were to ask me if they were going to beat that same team in the World Cup, I'm going to say no. But they probably won't have to face a team of that caliber until the later stages. Which, if they even make it towards those later stages, in my book, that's a win. Not expecting them to go to the finals and win or lose the World Cup. Not going to happen. That's just unrealistic.
Yeah, we all know that Team USA is always, when it comes to the World Cup or any major soccer tournament, it can be spotty at times.
For the men's team.
Well, yes, for the men's team. The women's team, we don't have to worry about that. They're just them. They're amazing.
But yeah, they play Portugal in another friendly match tomorrow night, so I'm hoping for a better result.
What time's that start?
I want to say 7:30, something like that.
I may be able to tune in. Breaking news in baseball, Ellie De La Cruz can get caught stealing. He's a very fast man, so I'm very surprised that they were able to get him. But yeah, good. It's been a fun weekend. I mean, look, like I said, Flyers, playoff push, baby. We're down there last night at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Yes, I will call it its actual name. Dallas Stars, one of the best teams in the Western Conference. 44 wins, 18 losses on the year. Good team. Flyers coming off a back-to-back, a big win on Saturday in Detroit. So, ultimately, back-to-back, Sam Harrison gets the start in net for Dan Vladar, who gets the night off. Flyers played a heck of a game, and they did not look like a team. Now, Dallas was also on a back-to-back, but the Flyers did not look like the team that was on a back-to-back. They outplayed Dallas. They played about 64 minutes of hockey because the game went to overtime. I'd say the Flyers dominated Dallas for a good 45 minutes of that game. outplayed them almost from the second period on. And, I'm not, look, when you got to get up at 4 a.m., I don't want to go to a shootout. I like shootouts. They're fun, but the Flyers suck at them. I don't want to watch shootouts when I go. So, not to mention, club section, row 3, awesome seats. Shout out Alex for always finding the seats somehow. Don't know how he does it. So we go. Nice game. Travis Konecny gives them a 1-goal lead. Then, of course, Dallas scores a shorthanded goal on the Flyers power play, which that happens a lot this year. Overtime. If you don't know it, hockey overtime is hectic. It's 3-on-3. There's odd man rushes every other 5 seconds. It's awesome to watch. Trevor Zegras, man, he just took the puck. Sam Harrison stopped the puck in their zone. Zegras just took it, skated right up. He saw Dallas's goalie was kind of not really in the best position, and man, Zegras just ripped this thing right through his legs, through the 5-hole, overtime winner, and the place went nuts. Yeah, I need playoff hockey in my life. I need playoff hockey in my life. It's been since 2008 and 20 since playoff hockey. And I don't even count it because it was the bubble. And you thought the basketball bubble was weird. The hockey bubble was probably even more weird.
Oh, no.
So look, everyone, we've been heavy NFL over the past month. Free agency a few weeks ago. Last week, we did some free agency grades. We have been kicking around the NFL for a while, and with the NFL draft just around the corner, we're going to get back into that in a couple of weeks. This week, basketball, lots going on. NBA season winding down. Playoff seeding is still to be determined. March Madness, we're going to talk about that. The NBA expansion has been approved on as well. Now, of course, we got to see where the next steps take them, but I will say that I am one happy basketball fan for that because I still want the Seattle Sonics back in the NBA, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be saying that for the rest of the freaking year, that I need the Seattle Sonics. If they try to, I swear, if I wake up one day and I find out that the Sonics are not going to be the name, I may lose my mind.
What else could you name at this point? It's just the only right choice.
Yes, but it's 2026. Don't act like people don't try to do stupid things.
You know what? How about they name them the basketball team?
Oh, God,
Seattle TBT.
Why do you do these things?
Because it's what I do.
Clearly is what you do. We'll talk about that. We'll get into the expansion in a minute. I mean, there's a lot of information to go on with it. But right now, we're going to get into some NBA end of season awards. Because, we got about 8 games left. Not much. Yep. Season's winding down. It feels like basketball season just goes by so quick now, it seems like. I mean, I guess it's kind of easy when your teams are good. My team's okay when we're healthy. I mean, your team's solid. No, but you guys are pretty solid.
They're all right. They're 2 games behind. Let's see what place, because there's not many wins that separate the 5th seed from the 10th seed. That's just the Eastern Conference for you. So,
and then
either of our teams
with the West.
Either of our teams could go on like a little, 5-game win streak to end the season, and they might bump up to like the 5th or 6th seed. Anything's possible.
I am so sick of the Sixers playing down to the Miami Heat. I am so sick of it.
Just like how the Miami Heat played down to the Indiana Pacers.
And the Nationals are now winning 7-0. Just lovely. Can't come back. Look at they scored 3 runs tonight. Put a guy on second base every game. They won't hit. They'll strike out 3 straight times. That's how it goes. But all right. So look, let's get into some of our NBA end of season awards. Now look, there's a lot of stuff. There's MVP voting could go a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year, I think it's one of the, in my opinion, more interesting awards in a while. I think there is a lot of guys that you could go with. I think the top 4 kind of easy. Coach of the Year. Another interesting one. The 6th seed in the Western Conference could win Coach of the Year because the 6th seed in the Western Conference could be the 2 seed in the East.
Very true. Yeah.
The most improved player. There's so many guys that have had big years compared to last year. 6th man of the year, always an interesting award. So where do we want to start with these awards? Where do we want to kick off our first award of the night?
Well, I think we got to save best for last.
Fair enough.
So let's start off with MVP. Joke. It was joke. It was joke.
So did you just give yours away? Are you going with Jokic?
You have to wait and find out.
Try to get it out.
Kick it off with most improved player.
Okay. Would you like to start or would you like me to start?
I'll go ahead and kick it off. Why not? My most improved player for this year, former first round pick for the Detroit Pistons, going back to 2022, is Jalen Duren. And this year, I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's averaging 19 points per game. He's got almost a block a game, 10.6 rebounds, so he averages a double double. I mean, just what you would want in a traditional NBA big man. And he's been a big part in what they've built over there in Detroit. It didn't pan out well at first. It didn't look like he was going to be that great. Looked like he might have just been, an average player, but he definitely developed himself into something much more than that, and a very important part to this Pistons team. This young Pistons team, I should add.
No, and like I told you before we got on here, I have a most improved player. I have two because I could not make a decision. And Jalen Duren is one of the ones I have too. He's had a tremendous year. Like you said, he's averaging almost 20 and 10. The Pistons desperately needed somebody to develop into that number 2 option opposite of Cade Cunningham. And Tobias Harris is not that guy. As a Sixer fan, I can raise my hand and tell you he ain't that guy. But, I mean, Duncan Robinson, solid role player. Azure Thompson, very good player, not a great shooter, solid role player. Great defender, though, I will say that. But with the way that Duren has played this year, giving him that pick and roll partner for Cade Cunningham, being the big guy in the middle of the paint, it's been absolutely awesome to watch. What's up, Clint?
What's going on, Clint?
So I have him as my first most improved player.
Okay.
And my second one, this was tough. Because like I said, I don't like going with award winners. But I had to make an exception for this one. And with my second one, I went Reed Shepherd in Houston. If you look at last year, you saw the potential. He averaged like 4 points a game. He started to carve out a role off that Rockets bench. This year, 13.4 points, shooting 42% from the field, 38% from 3. He has actually stepped in and played a solid, I guess, kind of point guard role for a team that doesn't have a point guard. And just the way that he's helped them with floor spacing, being that the shoot first guard that they need sometimes. Because again, the Fred VanVleet injury before the season really hurt this team because they didn't have a lot of depth at point guard. And the fact that Shepard's been able to somewhat take on that role. I mean, he's not a true point guard. He's not a facilitator, but he is a good shooting guard. So at least that they have someone out there that can at least play the position and kind of have Kevin Durant run like the point forward role. And of course you have Alperen Sengun playing the point center role, which my God, is he Houston, if they had VanVleet fully healthy, this team may be my favorite. I mean, I just love how that entire team clicks with Durant, Şengün, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, just a bunch of really good young players.
Yeah.
Until Kevin Durant trades them all for a bunch of 35-year-olds.
No, he'll be gone before that happens.
It could be. I mean, Durant's not young. But the fact that he's still at that age, still able to put up buckets like he's 27. You know, Matt brought this up in the comments about a month ago when we were talking basketball. Kevin Durant may be the best pure scorer we've ever seen.
It's hard to argue against. It really is. I mean, any opinions you may have aside from him, I mean, the dude's a bucket.
And like I said, we're always going to have those conversations on who could easily be the best scorer of all time. You know, LeBron is the all-time leading scorer, but I'm talking about just how they score, pure scoring. Durant,
Yeah.
Melo for that time was there. So Clint said that he went with Duran for most improved. Runner up for him is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Nickeil's had a year. This was a guy that had been around from New Orleans and Utah, Minnesota. His career high in points came in 2021-22 when he averaged 12. This year, he's averaging 20 and a half points on 45% shooting and 39% from three. And he's averaging 1.3 steals a game and has really helped bolster that Atlanta Hawks team. They were under 500 for a bit, but they're starting to make a push.
They are. They definitely are. You got to watch
8-2 in
out
their
for
last
them. I
10.
mean, yeah, they're sitting at 42 and 33 right now. I mean, they're comfortable in the middle of the pack of the Eastern Conference as things wind down.
God, they were in the West. They'd be the 12 seed.
Oh, man.
And I mean, it's not just him. I mean, Jalen Johnson's had a great year. He's averaging 23 a game, 8
Yep.
assists, 10 rebounds. He's the big reason why they had no issue getting rid of Trae Young. They just saw a different landscape and how their team was changing and having a shoot first ISO ball short point guard who likes to chuck up 18,000 stupid shots a game was not in the cards anymore, which again, I don't know how guys like Trae Young win in this league anymore. It's just the league is so different.
You need great rebounding bigs. That's how. You got to dominate the glass with a player like him.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And also, let's not forget, that they've got Jonathan Kuminga in the trade with Golden State. Since he went over to Atlanta, 12 points, 6 rebounds, shooting 47% from the field, 44% from three, which is damn impressive. Steve Kerr, man. I feel bad because, the Warriors are going to go down as one of the best teams in the 2010s because of their late run in the 2010s of all those rings. And of course, they did win one a few years ago with Stephen Clay's last hurrah. But if they could draft and develop young players, they could have kept this thing going for so long.
Yep.
It's just something about Steve Kerr. He doesn't like young players.
Yeah, he likes his vets, Jimmy Butler.
I mean, it's not just Kuminga. We thought James Wiseman was going to be one of the best young big men in the league.
I don't even know if that's a Steve Kerr problem, because nobody's been able to develop Wiseman. You know what's crazy is out of those two, the former teammates at Memphis, him and Precious Achiuwa, I think Precious Achiuwa's had a better career as a role player off the bench than James Wiseman has in this league.
That's basketball for you.
Tell me how that works. Oh my gosh, James Wiseman, the kid just looked like he had extraordinary amounts of talent come out of college.
Sixers have taken a 1-point lead, by the way.
Oh wow, where'd that come from?
Paul George has 14 on 5 of 8 shooting. Joel has 9. Maxey has 7. Edgecombe has 9 and 4 assists. I'll tell you one thing. VJ Edgecombe, when all those guys were out, that boy was hooping.
All
And
right,
just
time to test Paul George again.
oh, please don't do it again. He just got back. He put the podcast mic down. He's finally back. Leave him alone. Even though he has had like 25 each game he's been back so far and very efficient shooting. So, I may have to think about it. All right, so for most improved player, Tyler and I both went with Jaren Duran from Detroit. I also threw some love into Reed Shepherd because I think Reed's had a really good year. And of course, to our commenters, we always want to make you guys feel like this is a part of you as well. Clint went with Duran and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Oh, come on, Clint. Don't do me like
Playoff
this.
P.
All right, so Tyler, where do you want to go next?
I'll let you pick.
Let's go defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year.
I'll start off. I went with Wemby.
I went with Wemby as well. How
Like-
do you score past the dude? If you go within 6 feet of him, you're getting blocked.
I will say though, LaMelo Ball did shoot a fadeaway over him a few games ago, and he like barely got it over his hand. Because you're right. Like, how do you get over? It's like shooting a ball over the Eiffel Tower. It's literally like trying to shoot a ball over the Eiffel Tower.
Basically, yeah.
And he is from France too, which is kind of funny. But I mean, just take out the scoring. He's averaging 11.3 rebounds. He's averaging 1.1 steals. He's averaging 3.1 blocks a game.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you not go with Wemby for Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like Clint just said, I think it's the easiest no-brainer for this award. Like, you can make a lot of cases for the other ones. This one's just hands down.
This is probably the most obvious one on my list. Because I think with most improved, you could go with a few names. I think there's a lot of guys you could have went. Like we said, Durant from Detroit. I threw out Reed Shepherd. Clint threw Alexander Walker. I think there's a lot of guys you could throw in there and really anybody could win that. But defensive player, I mean, who else are they going to give it to?
Exactly.
All right, moving on. Let's go sixth man of the year.
Oh, man. Sixth man of the year. Sam, I'm going to let you kick this off. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going back to San Antonio.
Ooh.
I went Keldon Johnson.
Ooh, Keldon Johnson.
Johnson's had look. He started his career as a full-time starter. When they were in the midst of that rebuild, he was a full-time starter. Then San Antonio went and got a bunch of really talented players. And then Johnson took that role over as the first guy off the bench. And, I mean, 13 points, 53% from the field, 38 from three. I mean, I went with him as sixth man. I mean, again, another award where you could go with a lot of guys. You could go Keldon Johnson. You could have gone Reed Shepherd. You could have went with Jaime Jaquez in Miami. He's had a tremendous year.
Guess what? Write that name down. Because I'm sorry, I'm not playing the hometown favorite here. But Jaime Jaquez, Keldon Johnson, he was a second runner up for me. But what Jaquez has done after having a limited starting role in his first 2 years in the league, this year they sat back. Spoelstra was like, all right, we need someone as a spark off our bench. In comes Jaime Jaquez, averaging 15, 5 rebounds, almost 5 assists, and shooting 50% from the field. He's probably one of their more efficient scorers. And he just, whenever he comes off the bench, you know what you're going to get from him. And I love the player that he's developing into. And it's definitely the perfect role player because it's so important for teams to have a strong sixth man off the bench.
Oh, trust me, I haven't had one in Philly in years.
Who are you going to rely on when your starters need a rest? You need a sixth man. They're a very valuable player.
Yeah, and I mean, look, there's again another award where you could have went with a few guys. Like I said, like I'm just looking, just for example, I just went to betgm.com and I looked at the odds on for sixth man of the year, and the top two favorites are Keldon Johnson and Jaime Jaquez. Reed Shepard is in there. Naz Reid, who won this award
Yeah.
last year. Jay Mitchell, who's at OKC. Isaiah Stewart, who is the backup for Durant in Detroit. Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been a really good player for the Nuggets this year. Ayo Dosunmu, who is now in Minnesota. He was who they got at the trade deadline with Chicago. You could even have threw early on in the season Quentin Grimes for the Sixers. Now, I don't think Grimes has been as good as he was last year for Philly, but again,
Yeah.
this is why Quentin Grimes got a 1-year deal to come back. He wanted $25 million a year for playing 39 games with a bad basketball team, and he averaged 20. Now that you've got that, all that star talent healthy with Embiid and George and Maxey and now VJ Edgecombe, you add him into the situation. Now it's kind of just where we're at the point where Quentin Grimes is what he is. He's a very good bench player. Yeah, Clinton. I mean, Naz Reid's he's the reigning sixth man of the year, so I mean, it could be a possibility. All right, moving on. So we still have Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and MVP. Tyler, where do we want to go next?
Let's go Rookie of the Year.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is a very deep class.
It is. So since it sounds like you have a few things you need to get off your chest for this one, I'll start us off. I'm going with one who might be the more clear favorite to win it, but not definitely hands down should win it. I'm going over to Charlotte with Con Canuple. I knew he was going to be on your list, Sam. He's on everyone's list. Dude's averaging 19 a game, 5.5 rebounds, almost 3.5 assists, shooting 48% from the floor, and from three, 43%. The dude's already a walking bucket. And oh my gosh, if this Hornets team can get themselves a dominant big man, it might be a wrap. I mean, LaMelo Ball, Con Canuple, they could have a scary future with those young players.
Con Canuple is literally the best player they've drafted since LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you draft LaMelo a few years ago to be the playmaker, but you give him no players to make plays with.
Yep.
And like you said, I mean, Canuple he's such an amazing shooter. Like, this kid could just, like you said, he's a walking bucket, and he's only been in the league for 74 games.
Mm-hmm.
And Clint said the same thing. He's going with Canuple too. I think, and I'm actually happy that the two of us have see, this is again, when you turn on the head Nimrods that cover basketball, you're going to hear one name and one name only. Oh, Cooper Flag. Okay. One thing, and this is why I named this show, we named this show Unbiased. I am so sick of the first overall pick bias. Like, oh, just because you were the number one overall pick, you have to be Rookie of the Year. No, you don't.
Nope. Not at all.
Because Con Canuple's team is in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Another guy who should get strong consideration for this, and I would love to hear some outsider opinion, I think VJ Edgecombe should be getting some strong consideration.
He was in my consideration.
But the issue is, look what he's playing with Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George.
Yeah.
And he's had his rookie moments where he's had weeks where, they've been rough. He'll have like a stretch where he'll score like 10, 9, 8, 76ers. But anyway, but then you look at the stretch that he had when they were out, and he goes off for 25, 25, 38. And he's the thing I love about Edgecombe, and this is the one thing I will say, Colin Knupple's a great scorer. VJ Edgecombe affects the game in so many ways. From a scoring aspect, from on the defensive side, he can grab. He's super athletic, so grabbing rebounds is not an issue. Solid facilitator, being a lot better off the ball than I think a lot of us expected. Because when you have those other three there, someone's going to have to stay in the corner and say, "Spot up." It ain't going to be Tyrese Maxey, but I think Edgecombe has a strong case. He would probably be my number 3 option.
Yeah.
Ace Bailey would be number 4. Ace has come on lately, got off to a slow start, and Utah's it's a rough watch for Utah. Walker Kessler out for the year, and Laurie Markkinen banged up as always. They're just it's tough for them. But if they get healthy, Jaren Jackson Jr. again, of course, played 10 games, had a mysterious knee injury, now he's out for the year.
Tank.
Exactly. And that's why they're going to implement new rules for tanking, because it's getting ridiculous. But Ace Bailey, I think, will be a really good player, too. You look at the way his size and the way he's built, the way he can score. I think he's going to have a really bright future as well. But I'm happy that Colin Knuple got basically the whole vote of the panel here, because I don't think he's been talked about enough with how good he's been in Charlotte.
No. I mean, the thing that what made me choose him over the others, like Cooper Flagg, VJ Edgecombe, was the percentage that he's shooting from 3. That's insane to see from a full-time starting rookie to have a 43% three-point percentage.
Yeah, and Clint makes a good point. Brandon Miller was supposed to be their second, I guess you could say, star player. I mean, and Miller's been solid. I mean, he's averaging 20 points a game too, shooting 38% from 3. But you get those 3 together, like you said, get them a dominant big man, and that team could go somewhere.
Get them what was his name? I don't know his first name. Reed from UConn.
Oh my God!
I forget his first name. I think it's Terrace Reed.
I think you're right around there. Hey, you know what? Maybe when when Durant gets in the free agency for Detroit, he'll go there.
Oh man,
give him the bag.
Give him the bag.
But while we're on the rookie of the year, we got to talk about Cooper Flagg, who, again, he's been good. But once again, I'm so tired of just because you are the number 1 overall pick, you automatically get rookie of the year. I feel like that's what the award has gone to. I mean, unless you're Anthony Bennett, who stinks. Well, that's different. Unless you go to those lines, I almost feel like if you are the first overall pick, you're kind of just handed the rookie of the year behind the backstage of the draft. Like, oh, here's your award, by the way. You're probably going to win it. I feel like the award's been watered down with just because you go number 1 overall, that's why you get it. And I don't like that. And Cooper Flagg's going to be a great player. But also, like I said, the 2 other guys that we brought up mostly, Edgecombe and Knuple, their teams are in the playoffs. Dallas is 24-50. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah. That's not all his fault.
Not on it at all.
Let's just remember something, everybody. The Dallas Mavericks in the year 2026 believe that they had a championship opportunity with Klay Thompson, who's had every major leg injury you could think of, a 36-year-old Kyrie Irving, who has had multiple knee issues, and the Trojan horse, which is Anthony Davis.
Oh, hold on. You're forgetting one.
Am I?
The scoring legend, Chris Middleton. Mr. Midrange himself, 34 years old. They basically said Cooper Flag is going to bring down our average roster age by about half. And then they got PJ Washington somewhere floating around there on that team. I mean, yeah, I can't blame him at all. It's not on him.
No, they don't have the right
very
team
old,
around him.
poorly constructed roster.
No, and Clint, I agree with you. Cedric Howard's actually played really well in Memphis. I think, again, since John, it's probably one of the better young players they've had. I think Memphis just has a. But I like what Memphis is doing. I mean, they got some solid young players. They got rid of the old regime, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson. Now they're moving around. I mean, they got 7 first-round picks for those two guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it'll be a really more complete rebuild once Ja's off the team. And I hate to say that because a couple of years ago, we thought that Memphis team was on the rise, with Jackson and Bain and Ja. Steven Adams was a part of that, but.
And then they kind of got set back by some off-court issues.
Well, honestly, it's not even just the off-court issues. It's the fact that Ja on the court never really turned into a shooter. He can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is a poor perimeter shooter, and in this day and
age,
age,
but you need to be able to shoot.
Yeah, like that's the era of basketball we live in. If you can't shoot, then you're not going to get far. But yeah, like I said, I think Cooper Flag, I want to go back to that real quick one more time. I get he's had a tremendous year. I understand he's the first overall pick in the draft, 19-year-old phenom, probably going to be a great NBA player. But I can't. The rookie of the year is supposed to be someone who puts up very good numbers, but also impacts their team. Again, I think he has. But again, 2 guys are in the playoffs right now, and they are 24 and 50.
Yeah. And I can't say he's the only one who got a raw deal with this team. I mean, outside of LaMelo Ball, who really do the Hornets have?
VJ Edgecombe entered a situation where he could be the 4th best player on a team, and then 3 games later,
starting player.
Yeah, exactly. To the best and only starting player, because for a while there, Joel was out, George was out, Maxey was out, and Kelly Oubre was out.
Jeez.
That's the thing. His role fluctuates. One night he gets 28 shot attempts. The next night he gets 5.
Yep.
And that's another thing I think Edgecombe has done a really good job at for the Sixers, is that he has accepted those roles. One night, like I said, I may get 25 shots and have 28 points. The next night, I may only get 10 points. But guess what? I'll shoot 3 for 5. I'll have 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a couple steals, a block. Not to mention, he's super athletic. He can jump through the freaking building.
Oh, yeah.
So, like I said, it's just the rookie of the year. It's a deep class, the top 4 that we said. And like I said, I really don't want to take away from Ace Bailey or Cedric Howard. I don't want to take away from guys like that. But it's been a very strong class. And I mean, he's not putting up the greatest numbers this year in his rookie year. Don't forget about Dylan Harper, who the Spurs took 2 overall. It's just San Antonio so damn deep that they can't always have somewhere for them to play.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's coming off the bench. He's averaging 11.5 points per game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, almost a tick under 50% from the field, around 32 from 3. Not great, but still solid numbers.
Yeah. That is very solid for him coming off the bench right now.
And again, it's because San Antonio went from rebuilding to one of the deepest teams in the NBA in like 3 years.
They're a scary team.
I'm going to say they are the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder because of Wemby. You cannot guard that.
Yeah.
You can't guard him. Nobody can guard him. And Hartenstein and Chet, they're great defenders. You're not guarding Wemby.
Nope, you're not.
One does not guard Victor Wembanyama, nor
You
does
try
one
to
do it
slow him down.
consistently. So apparently there was wait a minute. So apparently on the NBC pregame, because that's what the Sixers and Heat are playing on NBC tonight. Apparently
Yeah.
Evan Turner is doing the pregame, and Evan Turner said he can't stand Philadelphia.
What?
Speaking of top 5 draft picks that never worked out because they sucked. Hey Evan, how are you doing tonight? Do I have to bring up your numbers in Philadelphia?
Oh man.
Anyway, let's keep moving on here. So we've done Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, and Sixth Man. So we are down to the final 2: Coach of the Year and MVP. This is where I think there's going to be some controversy. Well, at least for MVP. Coach of the Year, I feel like we may have the same.
I think we're probably in the same boat. You had 2 for Coach of the Year, right?
No,
Oh,
I
you
have
didn't
one.
have co-coach of the year? Okay, I had co-coach of the year. So why don't you give yours?
I mean, I went JB Bickerstaff. I mean, getting Detroit finally back into the playoff picture last year, and now you're the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference where
Yeah.
where everybody throughout the offseason couldn't shut up about the Knicks and the Celtics and all this. What he's done, and they've done it with limited resources. It's not like they went out and bought a bunch of free agents. Kate Cunningham, he was playing well through the first few years of his career, but we could make the case where we didn't really know about like how good was he really going to be? Was he going to be impactful enough to be a franchise player? And since JB's got there, he's ascended into basically a triple double machine. He's averaging almost 20. He's averaging almost 20, 10, and 8, and he's
Yep.
had a really strong start to his career in Detroit because of it. Like I said, the first couple years were okay, but you were like, Cade's good, but is he going to be great? And he's turned to a really good player. And again, they've developed their players. They drafted and developed Ashore Thompson, who is turned into one of the better two-way wings. Still has to get it better at shooting, but he's been a good role player. They've turned Durant into the most improved player, averaging 20 and 10. And they've brought in role players. Like Tobias Harris has been good. Duncan Robinson's actually been really good for them. I'm sure you and I are loving both of those.
No, not at all.
But the fact that he comes to Detroit, gets them back in the postseason picture, and then all of a sudden, 1 seed in the East, that I got to go with JB for Coach of the Year.
Well, I gotta say, my favorite is also JB Bickerstaff. You basically hit it on the head with everything. I mean, turned around this Pistons team that everyone thought was a joke, wasn't going anywhere the last few years. Cunningham didn't look like he was going to work out. Durant didn't look like he was going to work out. And then they come in and they have currently still the best record in the East. Yeah, by 4 games to Boston. But I think Joe Mazzulla is going to get a lot of consideration as well because how he's managed that team and coached without his quote unquote star player, franchise player, Jason Tatum for most of the year. I'm not reading that comment.
Fighting Philly. No.
No. No.
The next thing I want to hear about Nick Nurse is when he gets fired.
Oh man. Ooh. But yeah, I mean, what he's been able to do in what was supposed to be it's going to be down year from the Celtics. They'll get a high pick. Tatum will come back. We'll see you guys next year. Kind of like the Pacers. Well, you kind of see the difference now between how teams are built and also the quality of coaching as well. Because the fact that they were able to currently have the second best record in the Eastern Conference, and they've been cruising all year. He's going to get some series votes for Coach of the Year.
And he was in there too. I was trying not to go with too many like favorites. So I was like, it was really hard for me to pick this, but Missoula would have been my runner-up, and Mitch Johnson, like Clint said, in San Antonio,
Yeah.
2 seed in the West. Spurs are back to being that team again, and I think I went with JB again. I got another award. You could go with so many,
Yeah.
and not Nick Nurse.
Not at all.
So Nick Nurse will. I can't wait till the day comes where Nick Nurse is no longer the coach of my basketball team because he drives me abso-freaking-lutely nuts. Because they are just. You want to see the worst third quarter team in basketball? Go watch the Sixers.
Oh no. Is it currently the third quarter? Or are you just saying
No,
in
it's
general?
no, just in general, they're awful.
Okay. Well, that game's at halftime. Sixers lead by 3.
Okay. So's Doc Rivers. How'd that work out?
Good point.
He should be the first head coach to get fired. Clint, I could see that. I think Mitch Johnson should get it too, but I think JB's gonna get it. That's why I picked him. But again, so many good options. Not sure where you go with this. Now, the one we've all been waiting for. The NBA Most Valuable Player.
Here comes the controversy.
Once again, I want to point out something about MVP awards. And we did this with our NFL awards. I will say with baseball, I think the Most Valuable Player award
Sam, we're going
has
to the
been
same player. I just want to throw that out there right now. I hate it. I hate that we're going to have the same player. Keep going.
Well, is your guy in the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
Damn it. But no, again, this is the point. Look, I understand that we like to be different so we can have more of a debate style to this show at times. But again, that's the point of the show, Nate. We are not biased toward just because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is possibly the best player in the NBA or Victor Wembanyama is possibly the best player in the NBA. This is what I'm trying to make the point of. The MVP award in every sport has been diluted down to who has the best stats at the end of the year. Like, Shohei Ohtani. Oh, he's the most valuable player because he can pitch and hit. Well, he hasn't pitched a full season in how long because he keeps hurting his arm. Oh, and by the way, yes, I was sure he's a really good hitter. Yes, he is a talented player. I'm not saying it's because of what's around him. He's in a lineup with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Kyle freaking Tucker. Put Shohei Ohtani on the A's and tell me how good he'd be.
Yeah.
Clint, I agree. The NBA games rule for as many games you have to be in before you're not qualified for awards is stupid. With that being said, Tyler, who's your MVP?
My MVP, after long debate and consideration, is Jaylen Brown.
There we go.
You were saying it before. Most valuable player to their team. Yeah, it's easy to look at SGA's numbers and second most points per game average, shooting 55 from the field. I mean, we know dude can score. He's a great player. He's one of the best in the league. He's also surrounded by a lot of other really good players and a fully healthy team that's going to dominate the Western Conference in the playoffs this year. Again, Jaylen Brown, viewed as the second best player on his team, not the franchise guy. Tatum's the franchise, but Brown's always been the one that just grinds nonstop, and he showed you that again this year, averaging 28.6 per game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 47 from the field, shooting 30. How much from 3? 34% from 3. playing 34 minutes a game. He stepped up when they needed an elite player, and that's the
And I
most
mean,
valuable player.
did he not win? I mean, look, they won that title. Did he not win the Finals MVP?
He did. I've been saying for a long time, I think Jaylen Brown is the cornerstone of that franchise.
Yeah. And, we keep thinking back. Remember that draft? It was like, oh, Ben Simmons. Oh, Ben Simmons. Jesus Christmas. Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram. Well, Jaylen Brown went third, and guess what? He's been the best player out of those three. Now, Ingram's had a good career, but he hasn't had half the success. He's been on two teams,
Yeah.
three teams. Lakers, Pelicans. He's been moved around.
Where's he at
Jaylen
now?
Brown's been
I
on the
don't even
same
know
team.
what team he's on now.
He's on the Raptors.
Oh my gosh. Another playoff
And
team.
again, they have a good team. I mean, they got him, they have Barrett, they have Scotty Barnes, they have Jakob Poeltl. They have a solid team too. But again, the point is not about who is the best player in the league is probably Victor Wembanyama, and Shea's right up there with him.
Yeah.
They're the best player. But the question is value. Well, here's the value question. What would and I'm bringing this up because of Clint's comment. What would the Cleveland Guardians be without Jose Ramirez? A team who has traded away Francisco Lindor in years past. And Jose Ramirez, instead of asking to be traded, signed new deals, stayed in Cleveland. They've been a playoff team since. What would the injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers have been this past year without a healthy Christian McCaffrey? Probably a 5-win, maybe 6-win team. And where would this Celtics team, where if he wasn't on the court for any of their games, the best player on the team would be Derek White. No disrespect to Derek White or to Peyton Pritchard, who have both had fine years. Where would this Celtics team be without Jaylen Brown this year?
Out of the playoffs.
Bottom of the East. Yeah, they'd be a lottery team.
Cade Cunningham could have had a strong case. I'm skipping
Injury hurt him.
It did.
And I also agree with Clint because another thing I look at are guys that go to another team. What were the Cavs doing before Donovan Mitchell showed up?
Playoff team, first, second round exit.
If that, playing team, probably.
Yeah. If we're going back a few years, yeah, playing team.
This is the point I'm trying to make. It's like Jimmy Butler, Miami Heat. They've been not mediocre.
Got them back in the playoffs. No, you're right. I mean, before that, they were either missing the playoffs or they were barely scraping in. This was before the play-in. So they were barely scraping in as the 8th seed. He comes around. They're back up. 2 finals appearances.
That's not most valuable?
It is. But yeah, I definitely think Jaylen Brown, I think he should be the clear winner. I really hope that the voters don't just give it to SGA just because, I mean, you have to consider the situation around the teams and the players. When you really consider that, it's Jaylen Brown by a long shot. But I know SGA is going to get a lot of votes. I know he will. So if Brown wins it, it's going to be tough.
I hope Jaylen Brown does get it because, again, he deserves it.
Yep.
He 100% deserves it because, again, the guy literally is the biggest reason the Celtics. And it's not like, and again, it's not like we're sitting here and it's like, oh, the Celtics they're in the playoffs. They're a 5 seed. They're the 2 seed in the East.
Yep.
And now Jason Tatum has to find modern medicine in his back already. Like, if that's not the definition of most valuable player, I don't know what is. I feel like the NBA MVP award stopped relying on value post LeBron's first era in Cleveland. Because, let's be real, we saw after the first year LeBron left what LeBron meant to the Cavaliers. We saw that easily.
Yeah. I'd say a couple times Jokic won it. He was the most valuable player on his team. I mean, facilitating, scoring, decent enough defender. I think
doesn't have to be a decent defender when he's doing that.
Yeah. But no, I know what you mean.
I'm sick of MVP awards being a popularity contest. That's where I'm getting at.
Because the popularity usually goes to. Sorry, I was trying to swallow water there. Usually goes to the team or the player rather that scores the most points. Usually the correlation there.
Exactly. Because, and again, I'm tired of it. And that is why on this show, every week when we do awards predictions, I'm going to give you guys that deserve awards because of their value, not because they are the number one jersey seller in the league,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically what it's come to.
I
So,
fear that Clint's right. It's gonna happen. It shouldn't. Browns definitely earned it more than SGA. I still feel like they'll give it to him though.
yeah, again, they'll say that they consider them, but they won't do it
Yep.
because they want their money makers at the top of the league, and that's how it is. And it is what it is, but not on this show. On this show, we're going to tell you how we see it. And how we see it, Jaylen Brown's the best player and the most valuable player in basketball right now with the way that he's played and how the Celtics have played this year.
Yeah, I agree with that too. They kind of flip flopped it up. It was almost like they ended up giving it to Embiid the year after because as like an apology, like, oh yeah, sorry, you probably should have won last year and Jokic should have won this year, so we'll just, flip flop like this and no one's gonna talk about it.
They just did it with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Literally.
It's like the I'm sorry award. Like, oh, when do you guys care? I don't care if I'm sorry. Oh, I don't have any MVPs. That's not my problem. Like, and again, that's the other thing that drives me crazy is because the NFL, the MVP award in the NFL has gone to the point where it's like, okay, who's going to be the best quarterback this year? Because without your starting quarterback, you're not going to be good. Yes, that is true. But you're telling me that Christian McCaffrey wasn't the NFL MVP last year.
Yeah, most valuable player to their team should have been McCaffrey.
And like Clint said, Jose Ramirez could easily win an AL MVP award because of how awesome he's been for the Guardians. That team cannot hit for it. And Clint, don't take any offense to this. That team in October cannot hit for crap because they've got one player, and it's Jose Ramirez. Yeah, Clint, and it's all. But and the thing is with Embiid, it is so hard to judge whether Embiid should be an MVP or not because it's like yes, the team needs him on the floor, but the problem is he's never on the freaking floor.
Yep. Well, wasn't that the reason he didn't win the 1 year? Because he didn't make the cut for the games played?
He never makes the cut for games played.
Well, he did the 1 year.
Yeah, by like one.
Probably it was. They probably had to play him for like 5 minutes and then bench him the rest of the game just to get him on the sheet.
I officially played that game.
He just sent him out for the tip off. Next out of bounds play, sub him off.
All right, so if the rule is 65, I believe, was the MVP year 2021-22 or 22-23?
Hell if I know. Hold up. Let me find out.
Yeah, just go and find out what year did Embiid win MVP because I'm pretty sure it was 22-23.
Because he had good years both of those years. So I'm like,
he did. Oh, he did. Indeed, he did.
So actually, both of those years he played 68 games 21-22 and he played 66 games in 22-23. 22-23 averaged 33. I feel like that's probably the year he won it. Hold on, let me try.
We did say he probably just made he just qualified and literally did.
Beat MVP season. What we got? Yeah, 22-23.
I figured it was by one game.
by one game, literally.
And heck, you know what? This past year, Clint, I would have gave Myles Garrett an MVP vote.
Yeah. The only bright spot.
But like we said, that's the point we're getting at. It's like we're just getting at the point where these MVP awards are the MLB one and the NBA are popularity awards, and the NFL one is going to the best quarterback.
Yep.
Like, oh, NL MVP, Shohei Ohtani. He makes us the most money. Oh, AL MVP, Aaron Judge. He makes us the most money. No. Now, I will say, Aaron Judge will have, to me, Judge has a more of a argument to be MVP because if Aaron Judge is not on the Yankees, they are probably a 78 win baseball team. They are absolutely the definition of a team being carried by one guy. Because without Juan Soto, it's been if it's not Aaron Judge, then I don't know who's doing the damage in their lineup because they have solid players, but no one's Aaron Judge, and no one on that team outside of him is on the level of Juan Soto. But all right, knocked out the awards predictions. Awesome segment. Nice hour-long segment of NBA awards. Let's move into our next topic, NBA expansion. Let me just go find the tweet that Shams tweeted out last week, and we'll get into some conversation. Here we go. The NBA's Board of Governors have approved a vote for the league to explore bids and applications for expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle. A bidding process is expected to generate offers in the $7 to $10 billion range for each team. So, which billionaire owner is going to want an NBA team?
Oh, man. Mark Cuban.
Elon.
Oh, wow.
No, I think, wasn't there I feel like Cuban kind of wants his stake back in the Mavs.
I think he does. I think he wants the Mavs back. He doesn't just want to own any team. He wants the Mavericks back.
Yeah, like it was so cool seeing him sitting on the sidelines of games all the time. He was like a fan. I loved it.
He was, and that he actually loved the team.
It's like Steve Ballmer with the Clippers. He's at courtside every game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, we don't talk about the guy before Steve Ballmer.
No, we do not.
We will not talk about it. We do not talk about idiots on this show. But 7 to 10 billion. I wish Tyler, you want to go half? We'll take out a loan, go half on a.
You said dollars, right? Not billion. $7 to $10. Let's do it.
$7 to $10. I think I can throw you 5.
Got thrown a bag of chips.
Bro, we'll throw a bag of Munchos in this. We gotta get Munchos as a sponsor. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, I'll look into it for you.
I just want the Sonics back.
Man, if it's not the Seattle Supersonics, then man, we're throwing an outrage.
I feel like even if it was just the Seattle Sonics, people are happy. I understand you want it to be the Supersonics, but that's just, I think to some, they're just looking at it, that's his extracurricular activity wording on the matter.
We'll keep it short and simple. That's how the NBA team names are nowadays. Short and simple.
Exactly, so. But again, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Those are the two best markets for them to go to. Vegas is an up-and-coming sports destination. Again, Raiders have been there. The Golden Knights are constantly winning Stanley Cups. They've done more in their brief, I don't even know how many years they've been around, but they've done more in the decade than the Flyers have done in 4, so. Hockey's taking off in Vegas. Football's going to take off in Vegas once they get a team, when Mendoza gets there. And basketball, I mean, look, Basketball, I feel like, is one of the biggest betting sports in the world.
Oh yeah.
And now you're going to the betting capital of the world. So, and again, it's Vegas, it's the Strip, it's all the extra
So
stuff involved in
are
going to
we gonna
Vegas.
name them the Las Vegas Chips?
No. That would be that's interesting. What could we name them? We already know what Seattle's going to be.
Oh yeah.
What
What
could we
could
name
they
the Vegas
name
bit?
Vegas, man? Oh, we know whenever that becomes official, whatever name they choose is official, they're using AI.
Cat GPT, come up with a name. And no, but I mean, WIP brought this up, and I don't know why I'm bringing this up on the show, but someone said, is it come down to are sports being too greedy because of wanting more and expansion? And it's like, I mean, to an extent, you could make the point that there is some greed involved, but there's a lot of places that don't have a lot of sports.
There aren't. I mean, so I would call it greed if, let's say, they were trying to make a third Los Angeles team.
In which sport?
Exactly my point. Clint, I thought about that. That's just the easy one.
No,
I
that's a
feel
good
like
one.
I feel like it's too easy. They're not going to go with it. It'd be perfect though. Absolutely perfect.
I may have to agree with Clint. I like that one. The Las Vegas Dealers. Like
I feel
blackjack.
like
I
that,
don't.
that could have a negative connotation to it as well.
Oh, did there? What about
Ooh, blackjacks. You know what? I could see them putting that on a jersey. Oh no.
Heat up by 4 now? Third quarter, midway about the
Yeah,
third.
I got it on right now.
Well, I mean, but if you look at the way the world is, I mean, look at this. Look at Utah. They just got an NHL team. All they have is the Jazz. They don't have baseball or football out there. I mean, those markets, that market, and that's the thing. You have to look at markets in this, like
Yeah.
Major League Baseball. Oh God,
What's up, Zol?
Zoll only doing what he
Las,
does best, coming in with a banger of a comment.
Las Vegas. You know what? Nah, we can't shorten it. We gotta go mobsters. The Las Vegas mobsters.
Ocean's 13, is that you?
Ah,
But like, and again, when it comes to markets, not everything works everywhere. Now, Vegas, any sport's going to work because it's Vegas. It's a tourist capital. People will go to the games. That's
oh yeah.
fine. Seattle, another one where I think now everything would work. I mean, the Mariners do well in attendance. The Seahawks do well. The Sonics coming will. I'm going to say it's 99% that the Seattle Sonics are coming back as a name. And because of what happened the last time and how much sports have taken off in Seattle over the past few years, with the Seahawks being one of the better NFL teams over the past decade, and
Oh
the
yeah.
Mariners now constantly back in being a ALCS contender. I would say World Series, but they are an ALCS contender. The Sonics coming back out there will work wonders for that city because it's a passionate sports city. They love their sports in Seattle. And I think them bringing back the NBA there is going to work 100%. At the time, it wasn't great. When the Sonics were there, the Mariners weren't that good. The Seahawks weren't really doing much. It was a different time, and I'm happy that we're getting the Sonics back. Oh, Jesus Christmas. And
Oh
the chat
my.
is off and running.
Oh no.
But like, and even with baseball wants to try to get some expansion teams, and that Midwest area, the Carolinas, stuff like that. that Tennessee, they're targeting that area. The NFL, where would the NFL target if they want to do an
Ooh,
expansion?
NFL,
London. We're going to move the
London.
Jags. We're moving the Jags to
You
London.
know what? I don't. What's the NFL's popularity in Canada? I mean, they have the Canadian Football League, right? We see all these other sports with Canadian teams. Wouldn't it just feel like a kind of natural growth spot? Keep it in North America. The travel will still be easy. I could see London one day in the future, but I mean, I feel like a Canadian team would just make sense.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
mean,
is
again,
Zolt talking like a whole international league or like an international expansion?
either way, probably both. But no, and I agree with what you're saying because, again, we are looking at, I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays were just in the World Series last year.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL has like 8 teams in Canada. The
Oh
Raptors are
yeah,
in Canada. So I kind of understand it.
but then watch we'll end
And
up getting like another California or Texas team, something like that.
hold on, even and George put it on the show. He didn't put it in the chat, but he put it on comment on the show. And he said about the Bills. They're huge in Canada.
Ah, they are pretty
Oh,
close.
that is true. And no, look, and Zolt say they want a
Mm,
complete international division. So why not start it with Canada?
yeah, I would. I feel like with the NFL though, do you think they would start an expansion with just one extra team on
No,
you know
like,
or like or one in each conference? Or do you think they would want to wait until they could make maybe a full division?
well, I mean, and this comes in any sport, you're going to have to consider that because just like with this NBA expansion we're talking about, the conferences have to adjust. Teams have to move into the East, I believe. What were the teams that I think Memphis
Oh,
was one of them.
Memphis and who's the other one?
I forget who the other one was, but teams are going to have to move out of the conference. So,
Yeah.
well, it's like that was like in Major League Baseball for the longest time. Listen to this story. The AL West. Now every team has 5 teams in their division, right?
Uh,
Do you know back early 2000s into the 2010s, the AL West had 4 and the NL Central had 6?
really?
The Houston Astros were in the NL Central. Granted, they sucked, but and then they moved them to the AL West. And then that gave but yeah, we had a 14 division in the AL West. It was the Angels, the A's, the Rangers, and the Mariners.
Hmm.
And the NL Central had 6 teams. Could never understand it.
Yeah, Clint, I could see Mexico City.
Well, so there's 2.
Well, London. I mean, I would say Canadian team, London, Mexico City. You know what? Screw it. Double up 2 Canadian teams. Canada's
Hold
pretty
on.
big. What are you
Sao
thinking?
Paulo, Brazil. They keep going back.
They do. I still feel like they're kind of in the newish territory, though.
Yeah, they're new, but they're going quick
I,
with this.
yeah, I think to have a whole NFL franchise down in Brazil, though, that is far.
Don't. Zalt makes a good point. Just merge with the CFL or absorb them. Put 4 teams in Europe. I mean, and George said I think they would do 4 right where they have the CFL teams because the teams don't play at the same time, so it would work. Calgary, Toronto, Winnipeg, Montreal. That's the most popular teams. And George knows his CFL stuff. He talks about it with me all the time. But yeah, I mean, I think the most basic one But to start, and Clint's Mexico City one's another one that's very basic. But again, I think Canada is just so basic for the NFL because every other major sport has Canadian teams. Major League Baseball had the Blue Jays. And actually, if you think about it for a second, they used to have two. They used to have the Blue Jays and the Montreal Expos. So they had two for a while. Hockey, you have like 6 teams, and then the NBA has the Raptors. So, like, I think the most basic one for the NFL would be just go with Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. NFC, AFC, IFC.
I'm just that's going to be a scheduling nightmare because how. So let me ask you this, Salt. Does one team from the IFC have to make it into the playoffs? Or is this one we'll finally just see you make it in based off of your record? We do away with winner of divisions and we go by record that gets you in.
You make a good point. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of work that has to be done for all this expansion talk.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think, and who was the other team in the NBA expansion that was going to move? It was Memphis. Was it Minnesota?
Um, Probably because they would, I would assume, want to keep it a team that is close enough to the East. So those are like probably the two Midwest teams that aren't far out west. Ideally, I think it'd probably be Memphis.
Well, Memphis was one of the reported ones that was, so we knew that, but
Yeah,
I can't remember who the other one was. I really can't remember who the other one was. Unbelievable. But no, I'm happy that the vote got approved. Now it'll be interesting to see what kind of bids they get. Who's going to buy these and look into being the owner of these new expansion franchises. I just hope that the Sonics get like. I find it funny if somebody like an actual like a former Seattle player, like what if Russell Wilson wanted to own the Sonics?
Is he got Kevin Durant.
He's been robbing teams blind for the past 3 years.
True.
And Zolt said they already want to get to a point where every team plays an international game every season. It's to test out scheduling and travel.
Yeah, it's a good point. They're trying to get a feel for it.
Well, good. Keep the Eagles away from a London team. I'm not waking up at 9 a.m. to watch my team.
Oh, man.
But then my whole Sunday's ruined. It's like, oh, 1 o'clock game start. Oh, my team won. Okay. Shall we jump into some March Madness?
Yeah.
Because,
what a tournament it's shaped up to be.
Guys, let me just explain to you a few things when it comes to sports. The NFL is awesome when the Chiefs lose. Major League Baseball is awesome when any New York team loses, because I can't stand the Yankees or the Mets. That's always good. Or the Dodgers. Screw them too. The NBA is always good when the Lakers lose, or the Celtics, or the Warriors.
Yeah.
Hockey, I can pick a lot from hockey. And college football is always good when Ohio State loses. But when Duke loses in college basketball, it is like a holiday. And to lose in that fashion on a tip ball, my God, what a play, what an entire sequence that was. I'm sitting there at the Flyers game. My whole section went nuts. Like, oh my God, look what just happened. The entire section went nuts. Everyone started pulling their phones out, whipping out the Twitter, and looking at the freaking video. I couldn't believe what I saw because Duke was up big at half.
They were.
But again,
Love that box score, actually.
I said this, even though they were up big in that game at one point, Duke has not really played well the entire tournament.
They haven't. They've been very inconsistent, and it finally caught up to them.
I mean, if you want to look at something and be completely honest about Duke this year, let's go back. Let's just go back to how their tournament has looked. Okay, they beat Siena. Siena had them down 11 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go to TCU, all right, so TCU, they were only up by 4 at the half. St. John's, which I thought St. John's was going to beat them. St. John's had them down by 1 at halftime. And then they finally put together, they've had to use strong second halves the entire tournament to win these games. And then they finally put a great first half together, shooting the ball extremely well from 3.
Oh yeah, I think like at the
Yep,
half,
Zolt, that is
UConn
true.
was like had like 1 or 2 made 3-pointers. I
They
think it was
ended
1.
5 for 23 from 3 in the game. They didn't shoot the ball well at all.
They didn't, and a lot
Duke's,
of it was their top scorer, who's what's his name? Hold up, I'll find it here. Alex Caravan, top scorer the whole season. I think he set a UConn record. 2 for 10, 1 for 6 from 3, 5 points. But he hit the 3-pointer that got them down within, I believe, 1 or 2 points. So he kind of brought the spark back when it mattered most.
and then everyone clear the deck for Braylon Mullins.
Ooh, man. Chris Mullins,
But
is that you?
Chris Mullins, is that you? But again, without the play of Terrace Reed in this game, they probably wouldn't have won.
Yeah. Terrace Reed went toe for toe with Cameron Boozer. Literally toe for toe.
And with Patrick and Jogba.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, yes, Malik Brown is a starter, but he only played 17 minutes because they usually bring in Jogba in off the bench.
Mm. But
Duke's
they
front court,
needed a more physical presence against Reed.
and the fact, and the one thing I loved about the way UConn attacked this game is even down big going into that second half, they just kept attacking. They didn't try to shoot their way out of it.
Yeah.
Like some teams, when they're down big, they're trying to shoot their way back into the game. But UConn realized that they weren't shooting the ball well from 3. They just kept attacking. And that's the thing I think that kind of caught Duke off guard, is that they were attacking them inside, and they've got a good front. Like we were talking about Duke's front court, how good they are. And they just kept attacking them the entire night. And so ultimately, two 3-pointers finally fell, and it came to be 2 of the biggest shots of the game. And I mean, the play with Caden Boozer, the turnover. I mean, he's got 2 guys right there. I don't know what he was trying to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, what I was most confused about is why Duke rushed so much. Why didn't they take their time more? Like, UConn got the ball back with like 27 seconds on the clock. And from there, they just pick your poison.
Yeah. And I mean, that will go down as one of the greatest March Madness games I've ever seen.
Oh, man. From the comeback to completing the comeback is just insane, because there were so many points where it was just like, okay, UConn made a good push. Duke's going to hold this one out. They got it in the bag. And as clock's winding down, they just a little toss out nearly from the logo, pulls up, completely laces it. No doubt that,
Yeah.
that ball was going in. And yeah, they are currently on the Cinderella run.
Welcome to March.
Welcome to March, almost April.
Yeah, welcome to almost April. All right. So, Final Four this weekend. I mean, I know the other Elite Eight game that was yesterday. Michigan made quick work of Tennessee.
Yes, they did. Michigan's been making quick work of everybody.
And Illinois beat Iowa, who was my Cinderella team. I thought they were going to make it into the Final Four. Iowa had been playing some really good basketball, but Illinois is a really good team.
They
And
are.
Purdue losing to Arizona. Purdue, another really good team, but Arizona is a better team. What are your predictions for the Final Four? Who's our national championship?
Whew. Which side do I start on? We'll start on the UConn Illinois side. Haven't seen much of Illinois in the tournament so far. I know they're a really tough team. But what I saw from UConn, I mean, they made it this far for a reason. They didn't just luck up into it. They played great team basketball. They never get behind. Well, in their mindsets, they never get behind. They might go behind on the scoreboard, but
Clint's voiced his opinions.
Clint has spoken. Duly noted. I want to see UConn finish that push into the championship game. I think they can do it.
Yes, but they have to shoot better.
Well, there's one guy that needs to shoot better, and that's Carabin. I want to pull up the numbers real quick.
And the other thing that you got to look at is that Illinois is averaging 12 offensive rebounds a game. That is ninth in the entire nation. You have to keep Illinois off the glass.
So Carabin averages 13 points per game. He shoots 47% from the field, about 39% from three.
Zolt said winner of Michigan and Arizona is your champ.
I hate to say, I mean, there's a reason I wanted to start on the other side of the bracket. Arizona and Michigan, these are the two teams I've seen some of the most of. They just dominate every opponent. And especially when you go and you look at what Michigan's done. I mean, Michigan is just
Michigan's the best team in the country.
They are. You watch them, and it looks like you're watching like an NBA level team playing against colleges. They almost always seem every year to put together a dominant team. I have a real tough time of seeing Arizona beating them. I think it's going to be a good game. I think we see Michigan pull away in the second half.
I could agree with it. I just think Michigan's the best team in the country. I think they're just going to make another dominant performance. But Zolt, have a good evening, brother. Thank you for jumping on with us for a bit. And Clint says UConn usually does the magical run. They do. When they get in, they make it and they win the damn thing. Yeah. Clint's going with Arizona to win the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to take UConn over Illinois. I'm going to take Michigan over Arizona. I think Michigan's the best team in the country.
So are we both going UConn, Michigan?
I think so, but I'm not giving you my pick for the winner yet.
Oh, no, not at all.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah. I got to see how these games pan out first. I got to see
Exactly.
how if Michigan wins by 20 against Arizona, I'm picking them hands down.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't. I don't know how you don't pick them. Because they've been, I mean, like you said, we've been saying it. They've been making quick work of every team they play. Every single team they play, they make quick work of. So I'm gonna. So yeah, I think we are. We're both going with. We're going with UConn and Michigan.
We're in for some great games.
Illinois, which is funny because Illinois is a 2.5-point favorite over UConn. Michigan is 1.5-point favorites against Arizona. So if you just go down and look at the head-to-heads here, I mean, Michigan is 8th in the country in points per game. Arizona is 12th. I mean, dude, just now here's the one with Michigan. Though Arizona is the second best rebounding team in the country. So if Arizona is able to limit second chance opportunities, which Michigan only averages about 9.5 a game, which is 160th, when Arizona is tied for 15th. Arizona's size can come into play into this. So
They could.
Michigan's also the fourth in assists per game at 18. So, and Arizona has the eighth best defensive rating in the country at 97.9. Michigan is 14th at 99.2. So there is going to be a lot of these games. This is going to be a heck of a weekend for college basketball.
Oh yeah.
Clint will laugh and Adam will be upset. All right, Mr. Adams. Anything else we want to bring up before the night is over?
That's about all I got.
All right, everyone. Just a quick schedule update for the week. Of course, we were on tonight talking some NBA awards, talking some NBA expansion, somehow got into some NFL expansion too. And of course, going through some March Madness. No hitting home this Wednesday. Dustin and I are off till next week. We'll get back into the baseball swing of things next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. So we have Birds of the Gridiron on Friday, and that is the schedule for the week. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. And again, we're going to say at the end of each show, thank you all so much for picking us for your sports talk. We know there's so many out there. There's so many people you can listen to, but you guys choose to listen to us every week, every night. You tune in with us, you talk with us, and we appreciate every single one of you. Big shout out to everyone for throwing the comments in tonight. Clinton, Zolt, you guys are blowing the chat up. Appreciate every single comment you guys threw in. Always a joy talking with all of our people. We appreciate every single one of you. So, guys, we're going to call it a night. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a safe week, and we will see you guys on Friday for some Birds of the Gridiron. So, enjoy, guys. We'll see you then. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?